Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at 7 ugliest cruiser motorcycles of 2024. Number 7. Honda Rebel 1100. The Honda Rebel 1100 has been described as a cruiser that seems to have taken a wrong turn on its way to the styling department. While it boasts a solid engine and decent specs, its looks might make you question whether it was designed during a particularly uninspired lunch break. The Rebel's front fairing is a curious addition, giving off vibes of a confused bat trying to find its way home. It's as if Honda wanted to blend classic cruiser elements with a dash of modern flair, but ended up with an awkward hybrid that makes you wonder if they were trying to appeal to both hipsters and traditionalists at the same time. Even the seat height, which is low enough for most riders to feel comfortable, does little to distract from the bike's unfortunate proportions. The fuel tank sits awkwardly atop the frame, making it look like an afterthought rather than an integral part of the design. And let's not even get started on the rear end, which could easily be mistaken for an unfinished prototype rather than a finished product. In short, while the Honda Rebel 1100 may perform well on the road, its looks might leave you chuckling or cringing, depending on your taste. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Road Glide. The Harley-Davidson Road Glide often finds itself on the receiving end of some serious aesthetic criticism, and it's not hard to see why. With its fixed shark nose fairing, it looks like a confused fish trying to navigate a motorcycle convention. The front end, with headlights that resemble a crab squinting at the sun, gives off an impression of a bike that just rolled out of a bad sci-fi movie. It's as if Harley took a classic cruiser and decided to slap on a face that could scare away the bravest of bikers. One can't help but chuckle at the sheer bulkiness of the Road Glide. Riding it feels like piloting an armchair down the highway. Comfortable, yes, but also slightly embarrassing when you realize you're not exactly cutting through the wind like a sleek predator. And let's talk about those saddlebags. They taper in like they're trying to hide from the ugly truth of their own design. It's as if someone thought, let's make them look modern, but instead ended up with something that screams, I'm just here for the snacks. In a world where motorcycles are often celebrated for their sleek lines and aggressive stances, the Road Glide stands out, not for its beauty, but for its ability to provoke laughter and bewilderment. Number 5. Indian FTR 1200. The Indian FTR 1200 has sparked a debate that could rival any family Thanksgiving argument, primarily over its appearance. Imagine a motorcycle that seems to have been designed during a late-night brainstorming session fueled by too much coffee and not enough sleep. The FTR 1200's aesthetics are like a collage of mismatched parts, where the faux tank cover looks like it was borrowed from a different model altogether, leaving many scratching their heads in confusion. The bike's foot pegs are another design choice that raises eyebrows. They resemble bear traps more than functional motorcycle components, making you wonder if the goal was to keep your feet firmly planted, or to send you flying off the bike in an awkward ballet of flailing limbs. And let's not forget the turn signals, which seem to have been an afterthought, as if someone yelled, "Oh right, we need those," just before the prototype rolled out the door. Riding the FTR 1200 can feel like being in a relationship with someone who has great potential but terrible fashion sense. The engine roars with power, yet the overall package feels like it's trying too hard to be edgy and cool while missing the mark entirely. It's as if Indian Motorcycle aimed for a rugged, rebellious vibe but ended up with something that looks like it's perpetually stuck in a midlife crisis. Number 4. BMW R18. Now, don't get me wrong, the BMW R18 is a perfectly capable machine. It's got that classic cruiser look with its big, round headlights and those flowing chrome lines. But let's just say it's not exactly a head-turner. It's like the comfortable sweater you wear around the house. Reliable, but not exactly fashion-forward. The R18's design feels a bit safe. It's like BMW took a classic cruiser recipe and added a touch of German engineering. The result? A bike that's functional but a bit lacking in personality. It's the kind of cruiser you'd buy if you wanted to cruise around town without drawing too much attention. And then there's the price. Coming in at around $18,000, it's definitely a premium cruiser. While you're getting a quality machine, it's hard to justify that price tag when there are other options on the market that offer a similar experience for less. So, if you're looking for a cruiser that's reliable, comfortable, and a bit understated, the BMW R18 might be for you. But if you're looking for a bike that's going to turn heads and make you feel like a rock star, you might want to look elsewhere. Number 3. Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator is a curious case of a motorcycle that seems to have taken a wrong turn on the styling highway. Picture this, a cruiser that looks like it's been on a diet of blandness and missed all the fun at the design party. The bodywork is about as exciting as watching paint dry, with an all-black cloak that screams mysterious but actually just whispers forgettable. And let's not even get started on the engine. While other cruisers flaunt their V-twins like proud peacocks, the Eliminator's parallel twin feels more like a shy wallflower at a dance, lacking the robust presence that makes cruisers so appealing. Then there's the instrument console, which is surrounded by a number plate holder that resembles something you'd find in a discount frame shop. Seriously, who thought a photo frame aesthetic was the way to go? It's as if they were aiming for sleek and ended up with "I just got out of my mom's basement." Riding it doesn't help its case either. You're perched on this oddly shaped seat that feels less like a throne and more like a bench at the local park. Sure, it handles well and absorbs bumps like a champ, but one can't help but wonder if it's trying to distract you from its looks with performance. In the end, the Eliminator is like that friend who insists they're unique but ends up looking just plain odd, charming in its own way, but definitely not winning any beauty contests. Number 2. Ducati Diavel V4. The Ducati Di V4 is a motorcycle that struts into the cruiser category like a bodybuilder at a yoga class, confident yet completely out of place. With its bulging front end and a rear that looks like it's been on a diet, the bike seems to be suffering from an identity crisis. It's as if the designers took inspiration from a wrestling match between a muscle car and a sleek Italian sports bike, resulting in a design that leaves many scratching their heads. The front half is reminiscent of a bulldog, brawny and imposing, while the back end appears almost comically small, like it skipped leg day. This awkward proportion makes it hard to take seriously as a cruiser, which traditionally boasts a more balanced silhouette. Despite its questionable aesthetics, the Diavel V4 packs some serious performance under that peculiar exterior. It's got the heart of a sports bike with its Gran Turismo V4 engine, capable of launching you from 0 to 60 faster than you can say, "What was I thinking?" But let's face it, when you're cruising down the boulevard, you might just wish for something that doesn't look like it's auditioning for a role in an action movie. In the end, it's an ugly duckling with the potential to be a beautiful swan, if only it could figure out what kind of bird it wants to be. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Iron883. The Harley-Davidson Iron883 often gets a bad rap for its looks, and honestly, it's hard to argue against that. With its chunky frame and minimalist design, it seems like the bike was styled by someone who thought less is more but forgot to add more back in. The proportions are puzzling too. The tank looks like it's been borrowed from a bicycle, while the rear end seems to be on a diet, too skinny for its own good. It's as if the designers were going for that classic cruiser vibe, but ended up with something that resembles a depressed potato. And let's not even start on the seat, which feels like it was crafted from the same material used in medieval torture devices. Comfort? More like a test of endurance. Riding one is like being on a roller coaster that forgot to install the safety bars. Fun in theory, but leaves you questioning your life choices. Sure, it has that classic Harley rumble, but when you look down and see what you're riding, you might wonder if it's time to rethink your life decisions. In short, the Iron883 is a motorcycle that's more about the brand than the beauty, an acquired taste that not everyone will appreciate. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. If you found it helpful, then make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.